Andrew Gazdecki, CEO of MicroAcquire. This is not your first startup. You've been in startups your whole life. You've already sold two. MicroAcquire is, I think, one of the fastest moving startups in the game right now. I've been following you guys closely. What is MicroAcquire?
Yeah, so MicroAcquire is a marketplace to buy and sell startups. And yeah, we've grown pretty quickly. Even to my surprise, we've helped over 500 startups get acquired, well into the hundreds of millions in closed transactions.
Where are you at in MRR?
Right now, we're at like 1.1 million.
MicroAcquire is a result of a pain point that you yourself went through in selling two startups.
A lot of founders think like Google just shows up to your house with a check like, hey, congrats, you did it.
It's acquisition day.
Yeah, here's your check. But no, and there's a common saying that startups are bought, not sold.
Wow.
And that applies to the 1% of startups. Like if you're Slack and you're just growing like crazy, you might be approached by Google and they acquire you. But for most startups, specifically bootstrap startups, you need to sell your business. There's so much opportunity in software today that you can build a business pretty easily to a couple million in revenue and sell that and then achieve a life-changing exit. We kind of looked at the marketplace and saw there was really no end-to-end platform for you to sell your company.
The hardest thing to build a business, founders have the hardest time finding product market fit. And you've done it several times, and you recently tweeted that if you want to accelerate finding product market fit, spend 80% of your day talking to customers rather than trying to read their minds like you're Elon Musk. What has been the most transformative insight from a customer that has changed the direction of MicroAcquire? Has it happened?
Yeah, so our the way that MicroAcquire makes money is we have an annual subscription where you can gain access to startups listed on the platform. So that was an idea from a customer. When you list your business on MicroAcquire, a lot of buyers are going to reach out. Sometimes as many as 50. I've seen sometimes like 70. So one founder or maybe two or three started reaching out saying, who do I focus on? Who do I know is serious? And another buyer who manages a family office suggested that we just put up a paywall to kind of separate the people who aren't serious with the people who are serious, and that changed the direction of the company forever.
And when did that change occur?
We started that was about a year ago. So we went from 0 to 1.1 million in 12 months.
Wow! So the entire first year you were pre-revenue.
Yeah, we had no model, but I was focused on just really nailing the product first before monetizing. The way startups are built are you have an idea and then that idea is iterated on and improved through customer feedback over time.
Launch day is nothing.
No.
Every day is day one.
I think that's what holds a lot of entrepreneurs back. When I started MicroAcquire, I thought, I really like talking to other entrepreneurs like yourself and other startups. And so that is key, because when you really are passionate about the customer and you truly care about their outcome more than your own personal financial outcome, it all kind of comes together.
Product market fit is never on day one.
Unless you're, I'm trying to think of a company that found product market fit on day one. None are coming to mind. Most startups are decade-old overnight successes. All of a sudden it's like, whoa, this is a huge company. But if you talk to the founder, 90% of the time they have 5 failed startups behind them. They started in like a really crummy office, but they just really believed in what they were doing and they really enjoyed, the problem. Like, you really need to also fall in love with the problem, not the product.
People try to perfect everything before day one, but you talk about it and we talk about it. Speed wins.
Yeah, so I always say progress over perfection, because the more that you move, the more you learn, and the more you learn, the more you can iterate, and the more accurate you can be with your decisions. You need to move quickly, and a lot of times finding out what doesn't work is just as important as finding out what does work. And so I can name a ton of things that I didn't do correctly at Business Apps, at Allcoin, at MicroAcquire. I make mistakes all the time. Like, I tell my team, hey, like, good today is better than perfect tomorrow, because what we learned from that points us in the right direction. Because I think a lot of founders sometimes they'll have an idea of, this is kind of what the product should be, but in reality they could be walking in a completely wrong direction, and then they only find out until they start talking with customers and actually making small iterations.
So the most important thing is to start and launch.
I even do it on Twitter, where I'll just tweet something out like, "Hey, I have an idea." I get immediate feedback, and then I kind of like refine that idea.
Absolutely.
Just on Twitter or LinkedIn.
I don't know how you tweet so much. How do you manage your time, man? Like, I feel like you're a time management god.
There's a lot of people who try to build personal brands, and they're trying.
It can't be like that. Yeah.
I don't care. I just think it's fun.
That's awesome.
I'll throw out a tweet that says, "Hey, Mr. VC, have you started a company?" Nope, didn't think so. Like I'll just like, I don't take it too seriously. It goes back to figuring out what you enjoy doing, and I just like Twitter. Drake is my ghostwriter. I'll tell you.
Oh, there it is. Drake's the ghostwriter. What's the long-term vision for MicroAcquire?
So the long-term vision, we want to be the end-to-end platform where all startups get acquired. So
all startups. So even $100 million startups, $1 billion startups.
A billion. When you get to a billion thing, there's a lot of people involved, but eventually, I believe it to be possible. Yeah, where you able to go on a MicroAcquire and we streamline the legal process, due diligence, things like escrow or financing, or even just finding the buyer. Finding the buyer is usually sometimes the hardest part. Also providing third-party services, like if you need help selling your business with an expert advisor, we have a directory with M&A attorneys or advisors or due diligence experts. So we're creating this ecosystem that helps really startups of any size get acquired, completely free too. For that first year, I was running the whole company by myself. Like the newsletters, the social media posts, the podcasts, like the product management. Yeah, it was a lot of work. And I always say, like, people have like a lot of tactics and stuff like that to build startups, but the one that I kind of hold true, the most is, there's talking to customers and stuff like that, but it all kind of comes down to just how bad do you want it to work, and are you willing to, because it's a lot of work and you could be wrong, but to get to the right answers or get to the direction you need to be going in,
you got to drive through walls. You got to go through them.
Yeah, you have to you have to believe when others don't believe.
I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man, appreciate your excitement around the business. It means a lot. Kicking ass, man. I love your content.
Definitely, man. We're building like crazy. You're building like crazy. We're going to the top.